Ever since Taylor Swift announced 1989, Taylor's version, I have been so excited to make this video, and I have been planning it for literally a month. Okay, hi, my name is Madi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to be giving book recommendations based off of Taylor Swift's 1989 Taylor's version, because it's finally out and I get to listen to the vault songs, and I'm so excited to finally get to give my recommendations. So the first song on 1989 is Welcome to New York, and I am recommending The Heiresses and Crazy Rich Asians. I know Crazy Rich Asians doesn't happen in New York, but to me, at least part of it doesn't happen in New York. It mostly happens in Asia, but I feel like it kind of has that similar big city vibe, and so that's kind of what I was going with. So for The Heiresses though, it is about a group of sisters. They run a jewelry company. Some of them kind of don't fit in. One of them's a model and is kind of like crazy party animal. Other ones are very like sophisticated and like really like just into their family life and, you know, running the company. And when the oldest sister, Poppy, mysteriously dies, they kind of all like band together to figure out what the heck happened, because Poppy wouldn't do that. It does take place in New York, and obviously Welcome to New York, it's been waiting for you, so I felt like just the setting was just immaculate. The next track is Blank Space, and I think it fits well with 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. And this is about the female main character who, her boyfriend breaks up with her and she is trying to get revenge on him, and she ends up dating his like rival or his boss or something very similar to that. So certain lyrics like "New money, suit and tie, I can read you like a magazine," just because the female main character can just read her new boyfriend very well, and even though she is using him for revenge and she ends up falling in love with him, I think it just it fits. It's a song about revenge, you know what I mean? It works. The next track is Style, and I of course have to give it to Kiss the Sky, which is Rose Calloway and Connor Cobalt's book, just because I feel like, one, they are such a classic couple, and Rose always has the best taste in like clothing and like fashion and just style. That sounds so dumb, but in the Calloway Addicted universe, they are just like they are the it couple. Everyone loves them, and to me they are just like the very classic millionaires, and you can't go wrong with that. The next track is Out of the Woods, and I am recommending Throne of Glass and the entirety of the series. To me, Throne of Glass is this like ongoing struggle of like being out of the woods. Like, are we in the clear? Like, are we safe now? And just certain lines like, "Remember when we couldn't take the heat, I walked out and said, I'm setting you free, but the monsters turned out to be just trees. When the sun came up, you were looking at me." And I think it just kind of like all these like fears they have and all the things they go through, and at the very end of it, like they're still there, and everyone's still like, they're all in one piece and they're happy, and they get to, you know, kind of grow their kingdom back to what it was. And it just makes me very happy. How much more do we have to keep going? How much more do we have to keep fighting to, you know, see that the monsters were just trees? Okay, the next track is All You Had to Do Was Stay, and I think the book that fits it best is The Best Thing by Mariana Zapata. I am a diehard Mariana Zapata fan. The Best Thing is about Lenny and Jonah, who had a brief fling, and Jonah stops calling and Lenny keeps calling, and you're trying to figure out why Lenny keeps calling and why Jonah stops calling, and Jonah randomly appears back in her life. So I feel like All You Had to Do Was Stay just fits them so well, especially because of lines like, "Here you are now calling me up, I don't know what to say, I've been picking up the pieces of the mess you made," just because Lenny basically has to pick up her life and for her family's sake just kind of keep moving on and moving forward. And now Jonah's back and trying to like fit back into her life, and she doesn't really want that because obviously he left her life in pieces and wouldn't call back and wouldn't explain why he wouldn't call back. And the other lyrics like, "Now that you say you want it back, now that it's been too late, well, it could have been easy, all you had to do was stay." It fits them very well, especially because they do end up falling back in love, and I think it is very sweet. The next track is Shake It Off, which obviously is a classic by Taylor Swift, and I feel like the entirety of the Addicted, Calloway, Like Us series fits Shake It Off very well, just because they are a high profile family, everyone is looking at them, and they all kind of have to shake off the rumors and the drama and everything that goes on in the media, because that's kind of what the song is about. So Taylor is, you know, dealing with the media and publicity and things like that, and fans and things people say about her. So I feel like this fits them super duper well. The next track is I Wish You Would, and I think this fits very, very well with Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Every Summer After is about a girl named Percy, and she has a lake house that her family spends time at every summer, and she meets the boy next door, Sam, and they have this friends to lover situation, and then randomly 6 years ago they stopped talking. Percy ends up going back for Sam's mother's funeral because she was very close to Sam's mother, and they're kind of putting the pieces together of what had happened. So to me, the lyrics that I think fit this very well are, I wish you would come back, I wish I never hung up the phone like I did, I wish you would knew that I'd never forget you as long as I live, because they're always thinking about each other. I wish you were right here, right now, it's all good, I wish you would. So basically, I wish you would just kind of say what happened and we can move on and be happy, and I thought it was really great. Oh, the other line that I think fits very well too are, I wish we could go back and remember what we were fighting for, I wish you knew that and I missed you too much to be mad anymore, because Sam goes off to college and kind of like brushes off Percy a lot of the time and just doesn't treat her very well, especially being in a long distance relationship. It is very hard. So I think that if they had communicated better, things would have turned out a lot better for them 6 years ago. The next track is Bad Blood, and I think Guild and the entirety of the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy fits it very well. And obviously Bad Blood is also a classic, so baby now we got Bad Blood. And I just feel like everyone in this book has bad blood with everyone. So Oren has bad blood with King Midas. King Midas has bad blood with the other kings. The queen in this book has bad blood with Midas and Oren. And it's just a mess and just a lot of going back and forth. And everyone just kind of does not like everyone. And if you're looking for a really great kind of slow burn fantasy romance, this is a great one. There are a ton of triggers in this first book as well and throughout the series. So definitely look into those if that's of concern. But overall, I really love this series, and I think it fits Bad Blood super well. The next track is Wildest Dreams, and this is one of my favorite songs, and I was lucky enough that one of my favorite songs was released early, like a year ago, for a Taylor's version. So I've been listening to that like nonstop because I love Wildest Dreams. And I think the book that fits it in a series that fits it very well is Once Upon a Broken Heart. The third book just came out and I have not read it yet, but I feel like just the overall essence of Once Upon a Broken Heart and the essence of Wildest Dreams just mesh really, really well together. Say You'll See Me Again, even if it's just in your wildest dreams. And whenever we had our very last kiss, my last request is Say You'll Remember Me. And Jax and Evangeline are just some of my favorite characters. Jax is the Prince of Broken Hearts, and he is very like he's a trickster and just trying to trick Evangeline into doing certain things and playing the cards his way so he can be with the person he loves. But of course the two of them are also falling in love, and it's very whimsical and very magical and just filled with tricks and turns, and I just really, really love it. And I think the two of them just fit really well just because it's, to me, Wildest Dreams just feels like such a dream and like perfection, and that's just to me what Once Upon a Broken Heart is. It's just kind of dreamscape of fantasy. So the next track is How You Get the Girl, and the book that I think fits it best is In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. This is about a girl named Shay. She is supposed to inherit her her step-grandmother's farm, and to do so she has to get married, and that's where Noah, who is taking care of his niece and has been taking care of the farm, steps up and decides to marry her. But the twist is that he has been in love with her since high school and she doesn't know it. Fantastic. He was very shy, very awkward, and she was popular and just a pretty girl and kind of untouchable in a way. And so he just kind of has his hands full and he's trying to balance everything in his life, and Shay just kind of like walks in and is like, okay, let's get married. But lines from How You Get the Girl that I think fits well is, I Want You, For Worse or For Better, I would wait forever and ever, because Noah not necessarily has been waiting for her, but has waited for her since high school, has wanted her since high school. And Broke Your Heart, I'll Put It Back Together, I would wait forever and ever. I think it's so sweet, and I just think it's adorable. The next song is This Love, and that is one of my favorite songs by Taylor Swift. And I think it's just so romantic about how, you know, letting the person you love go and then they end up coming back. And I think the book and series that fits it best is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, because at the very end of this book, this is not a romance, this is a fantasy book, but at the very end of this book, Kel and Lila part ways and they move on with their lives, and obviously fate brings them back together. This book has one of my favorite romances in it, even though it is not necessarily a romance novel. And lines that I think fit it very well are, "Current swept you out again and you were just gone and gone and gone," because at the very end Lila goes on to become a pirate. Which is so silly that I think of that line, but basically Lila just kind of wants to live her life and live it to the max capacity, and Kel lets her go and gives her the free will to do that, and eventually Lila does come back, and this love is good, this love is bad, this love is alive back from the dead because she comes back. These hands had to let it go free and this love came back to me. So I just think it's so sweet and just romantic, and to me Kel and Lila are just that romantic, even though sometimes they are a bit at each other's throats, but at the end of the day they do love each other and they are meant to be. The next track is I Know Places, and I think two books actually fit with this one very well. Again, I have to recommend the Calloway Addicted universe. They're all famous and in high society, and paparazzi are constantly following them, which is kind of the premise of I Know Places, is running away from the paparazzi and from the public eye and having privacy and peace, and that's kind of everything that these books have, especially with the Like Us series, which is like a spin-off of all the Calloway sisters' children, especially because they are like even more popular than their parents and are constantly being followed and ridiculed for their relationships and their lives. So I think it fits them very well. Let them say what they want, we won't hear it. Loose lips sink ships all the damn time, not this time, because they're constantly being told, you know, they're always in the press pretty much. The other book for I Know Places is Keep Her Safe by QB Tyler. Granted, this is not my favorite QB Tyler book, but it is a bodyguard and superstar romance. Shay is the female main character, and she is like an actress and a model, and she shows on the cover of magazines, and she's beautiful, and the press is always after her. And then you have Damien, who's her bodyguard, who is not supposed to be in love with her, but obviously is, and it's super sweet. But again, just trying to be out of the press's eye, trying to find privacy, and Damien's able to give that to her just because he is the bodyguard, he is in charge of her like security and stuff. Damien is able to give her privacy and give the relationship privacy and give the relationship peace, even though her life is always in the public eye. The next track is Clean, which again is one of my favorites. To me, it feels like such a Swiftie classic. Like, if you really listen to Taylor Swift, like, you know that's a fan favorite for sure. And I have two recommendations for it. I have A Ship of Bones and Teeth and Nevernight. To me, A Ship of Bones and Teeth is by Karina Halley, and that is a dark Little Mermaid retelling. So it is about basically what happens after the Little Mermaid and the main character gets her legs, and she's in a abusive relationship to the Prince Eric, sadly, and Captain Bones kind of rescues her against her will, and she's able to kind of harness her magic and survive. The lyrics that I think fit the book very well are, "The water filled my lungs, I screamed so loud but no one heard a thing," just because she was very struggling and no one was seeing it or doing anything about it until Captain Bones came along and, you know, set those boundaries, and not set those boundaries, but he took care of business, if you know what I mean. Actually, she took care of business, but he was there supporting her, which is awesome. The other book that I think fits Clean very well is Nevernight, especially at the end of Nevernight, because Mia has been fighting her whole life to get revenge, and at the very, very end of the series, if you know, you know. I love this book too, by the way. Mia is an assassin in a assassin school, and she's getting revenge for her parents who were killed. Okay, but I just think that she finally kind of gets this relief and closure that she never really had her entire life. And I think it was just so beautifully written, and I cried at the very end of this series. And like I said, I think that clinging to me, it's not always about like love and relationships, but to me it just is this kind of closure that she has been fighting for her entire life that she never got. Okay, so the next track is Wonderland, and I think the book that fits it well is Bonded by Thorns. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It is about a girl who lives a normal suburban life, and she is transported to this magical world, into this castle where there are 4 fae princes, 1 for each season, and they are under a curse and a spell, and they have to find their true loves. The first book is very, very slow. The second book picks up, and I'm not a huge fan of the second book. I will keep reading the series though, but to me, as a just like a general vibe, just because she ends up into this kind of fantasy world, I think fits Bonded by Thorns very well. Lyrics I think fit it well are, "We found Wonderland, you and I got lost in it. Life was never worse, but never better," because obviously they're finding their true loves, their mates, so on and so forth, but they're under this curse, so they're miserable. And then other lyrics that I think fit it well are, I reached for you, but you were gone. I knew I had to go back home. You searched the world for something else to make you feel like what we had," just because certain things happen in this book, and she's mates with some, not mates with other yet, and it's very interesting and very complex. She gets sent back to the human realm, and they're all like very sad. But I really like this series so far, so I'm excited to keep reading it. The next track is You Are in Love, and again, this is one of my favorites. To me, it just feels like such a special place in my heart. I don't know, I just really love this album, and to me it just feels so romantic, and to me this is definitely like one of Taylor Swift's most romantic songs, because I think she captures the essence of love so well in this song. And to me, 2 books that really represent it are Bloodbursy by Bella Roth. I think this book is just absolutely phenomenal. It is a slow burn vampire romance set in a old classic telling fantasy style world. It's absolutely beautiful. It is heartbreaking and just, it's gorgeous, and I love it so much. I think the chorus fits it very well, which is, you can hear it in the silence, you can feel it on the way home, you can see it with the lights out, you are in love, true love. And to me, it's just beautiful, and it fits this book and the storytelling of this book so well and so beautifully that I just couldn't not recommend this book, even though I'm always recommending this book. The other book that I'm going to recommend for You Are in Love is Longshot by Kennedy Ryan. This is about Iris and August, who are not supposed to be together. Iris is in another relationship, but it is a very toxic domestic violence situation. A lot happens, and she's just not in a very good place, and she really does love and care for August, and August really loves and cares for her and is trying to help her out, but obviously she's in a very bad relationship that she just cannot get out of, and there's a child involved, and this book is absolutely insane. And I think about in the halfway mark, I did not read this book for a week because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was just so heartbroken over this book and these characters. Lyrics that I think fit Longshot really well are, and you understand now why they lost their minds and fought the wars, and why I spent my whole life trying to put it into words, because Iris has never really felt love. She comes from a very broken home, and it's just something she's never truly experienced, real pure true love. And I think just the way August loves her is beautiful, and loves her child it's just so sweet, and I love it so much, and I love them. It's so worth the read, even though it's crazy insane. So the next song is New Romantics, which is my all-time favorite 1989 song, even after the Vaults. I just absolutely love this song. It's a very whimsical, very fun song, and I felt like I had to do this song extra justice. This book is very heavy, but I just feel like it captures the essence of New Romantic so well, and I have to give it to Binding 13 and the Boys of Tommen series, even though I haven't read the other 2 that are out right now. But lyrics that I think fit it very well are, I could build a castle out of all the bricks they threw at me, and every day is like a battle, but every night is just like a dream. And just because this book is literally insane too. There's so much that happens, and there's a lot of trauma, especially for the female main character Shannon, and the main male character is just trying to help her and help her family, and it's just beautiful and heartbreaking. And I feel like it just fits it so well because she's trying to love and she's in a very bad situation, and he's trying to help, and they're this new romantics, and they're just, the friends in this group are very found family. Shannon really does have it rough, goddamn. The other book that I think fits new romantics really well is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. She also wrote Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and again, it's just the vibe of the song, the vibe of this series. It's very fun, it's very whimsical, it's a bit trickstery, and you know, heartbreak is the national anthem, we sing it proudly, that sort of thing. We need love, but all we want is danger. We team up and switch sides like a record changer. Because Caraval, they're playing this game to win a wish or a prize and learn the truth, and Caraval is just always changing, and there's people who are tricking them and taking things, and it's just so whimsical, and just the world building in this book and the plot building just amazing. So I think it fits new romantics very, very well. The next songs are part of the vault, and I'm just gonna assign books to them anyways because I think it's fun. So the first one is Slut, and I think Like Us series fits it very well. Certain lyrics that stick out to me are "Got love struck and went straight to my head, got love sick all over my bed," and "Love Lorn and nobody knows, love thorns all over this rose," and of course the chorus, "But if I'm all dressed up, they might as well be looking at us, and if they call me a slut, it might be worth it for once, and if I'm gonna be drunk, I might as well be drunk in love." And I think it fits the Like Us series very, very well. And I had mentioned this earlier, but this is the Calloway Addicted spin-off, especially the first three, which are about Pharaoh and Maximoff. Maximoff is Lily and Lauren's son. Oh my god, his name slipped my mind. Maximoff is Lily and Lauren's son, and Lily is a sex addict, so automatically, just being born, Mafi has this stigma that he is also a sex addict and that he sleeps around a lot, which he does, but whatever. But he tries his best to keep it out of the public eye, and this entire series is just full with like unrequited love and just avoiding the press and, you know, dressing up, and, you know, if they're gonna call me out, like, I might as well just be in love while they're doing it. Like, I might as well have fun with it while it's happening. And I think it's just such a great song. It's such a great message. Love it. The next track is Say Don't Go, and I think that this book that fits it best is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is about Iris and Declan. Declan is the CEO of his family's media empire, and his grandfather dies and leaves him and his three brothers with conditions to fulfilling out his will, and Declan has to get married, and he like has to be in love pretty much. Iris is his assistant and steps up to marry him, so it is an arranged marriage, and she's just trying to, like, you know, get through it. Declan is a bit not super nice, and he's kind of stuck up and snobby, and Iris is pretty down to earth, and so they're very like grumpy sunshine-esque, and he's just very different from her. But there is like a third act breakup in this, even though they're not really together. The chorus is, "I would stay forever if you say don't go, but you won't, because like they break up for a moment. And other lyrics are, "Cause you kiss me and it stops time, and I'm yours but you're not mine," because like they don't think the other likes each other, or they're not supposed to be like breaking their rules, and I just think it fits them well. I really like this book. Next track is Now That We Don't Talk, and the book that I think fits it best is Hush Hush by Lucia Franco. This book is, the plot line that I want to talk about that I think fits this book very well is about the female main character and her best friend. Like, they stop being best friends and they never really truly get back to the way they were, and they're not really ever talking. But basically the female main character in this book is a high-class escort, and she is like, she has rules for her clients, and obviously she breaks the rules with one of her clients and falls in love with him. And because of this, she has a massive falling out with her best friend, who is also a high-end escort. And I know that the song is supposed to be like a breakup song, but I think it fits really, really well for like losing your best friends. So things like you grew your hair long, you got new icons from the outside, it looks like you're trying lives on, I miss the old ways, you didn't have to change, but I guess I don't have to say now that we don't talk, because her and her best friend don't really talk anymore, and they don't get along like they did, and their relationship like greatly changed. And honestly, this was one of my favorite like best friend duos until like what happened had happened. And I just really, really love this book. There's something about Lucia Franco's writing that I think is just absolutely like intoxicating and like just kind of really sucks you in. And she's just a really fun writing style. The next song is Suburban Legends, and I think the book that fits it best is The Rest of the Story by Tal Bauer. This is about a man named Morgan who gets traded to the worst NHL team in the league, and something once he gets there is he noticed something is extremely wrong. His main goal basically when he got there was just keep his head down and finish out his career and he'll retire there. But once he realized something is wrong, he steps up and he is basically now the captain after being there for like less than 24 hours. And he kind of teams up with the team's rookies captain, Shay. Shay's a little bit older than most rookies would be, and he's a little bit more experienced, so he is like the unofficial official captain of the rookies. And basically the two of them are like banding together to bring this team together and to win and love hockey again. So lyrics that I think fit that very well are, I didn't come here to make friends, we were born to be suburban legends, because Morgan was not there to make friends. Morgan was not there to be team captain. He was there to keep his head down and do his job and get out when he could. When you hold me and it holds me together, and you kiss me in a way that's gonna screw me up forever, because they're not, Shay and Morgan are not supposed to be together. Another line that I think fits them really well, we were born to be national treasures, because all of a sudden this team like takes off once they've healed a little bit, and they take off and they're just like superstars and everyone's talking about them, and I love it. This book is so good. I should totally reread it. I read it this year, but I really want to reread it again. The last song on 1989 Taylor's version is It Over Now, which is by far one of the most insane songs I have ever heard in my life. I literally had to stop mid-set at the gym and like flip out for a moment. I just like jaw dropped, like it's insane. I was like crying in the gym. It was bad. The book that I think fits this best is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a marriage in trouble romance. It is more so on the literary side, but I feel like this is a book that everyone in their life needs to read at least once, especially if you're married. I feel like everyone needs to read it at least once. So basically it is about this couple, and they agree that for a year they're going to live separately, they're going to live their separate lives, they're going to be with other people, and after that year is up, they are going to reconvene and see whether or not they want to be together. And they start writing emails to one another, but they're secretly looking at each other's emails. Lyrics that fit it really well are, I see your profile and your smile in unsuspecting waiters, your mouth dreamed of my mouth before it called you a lying traitor. They know one another is seeing other people and they're not happy with it, but like they know they have to do it to see if they can like be together again. Alright, and that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know what your favorite 1989 song is. I hope you have a great day, and goodbye!